Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's awesome to be here in this beautiful place. I've actually I don't think I've ever been to Long Island, which is crazy. So this is like my first experience, and it's an amazing place.
So
Yeah.
your pilot won. You, your bestie from fourth grade. Who else was involved?
Yeah, so the producers, like the main producer was actually Paul, my bestie's girlfriend.
Okay.
So she was doing a ton of the, organizational production work. Brad over here, this is director of photography, cinematographer, who is also just a friend who is actually connected to us by way of another best friend from back home. But we were all in New York together, and he shot the whole thing. So it was really kind of a getting the friend group together kind of project.
It's excellent. It's awesome. All right. No, it really is very interesting. It deals with mental health. It deals with drug addiction. It deals with so many things like coming of age even and, getting your first apartment. I mean, it's like so many themes to it. What else have you been in before?
Yeah, I was in, film-wise, I was in a short film that won the Kodak Student Film Festival. That was with a friend from college. I've been involved in so I actually live in Philadelphia, so I'm based in Philadelphia, and I've been involved in fringe shows in DC. I've been involved in, post-college, I was living in DC, so I was involved with a Shakespeare company down there. And then I'm also a writer as well myself, so I worked on this project as well as Paul and I have been working on feature-length project. This has definitely taken the majority of our effort in the last year because we've been thinking about, what would this look like in a full season and trying to map out what that would look like.
I think this is going to be your big break. Do you feel like you won a major festival now?
Yeah.
Do you feel like someone's going to pick it up and go with it?
I mean, it's been such a crazy ride already because we've gotten, we're part of a bunch of other festivals. So this is actually the first one that I've been to. So I think it's been really like a bit of a shock of just like, wow, this is real. Like when I heard we won this, I was a little in disbelief, just like, whoa, this is happening. I think it's like with this industry, having a sort of cautious optimism, I think that's just healthy no matter how well things are going. Just to try to stay in the moment and stay humble around like this is really about creating stuff that we care about and that we love, and try not to get too lost in the like we made it or we haven't. Like the goal is to like the goal obviously is to get paid to do this in a full-time way, and I believe that we're capable of doing that and we'll put in the work to do that. But keeping that front and center, is like has to be the priority.
You are amazing. You really are. You're so well spoken. I've had my TV show now for 17 years. I really loved what you brought to that character, and we're all looking at that neck to see if that tattoo was real or not. But it was lovely to meet you. Congratulations, and all the success to you and your friends always. And you're right, it's in the doing. That's the win. It's in the doing. That's the win.
That was the win for this. And that was the win for Paul. It's yes, the accolades and the excitement, but it's really about he's a filmmaker now, so.
Joining us now is Bradley. Bradley, you were the cinematographer for Awesome. We all in this entire room are in the industry. We thought the way that you shot it was absolutely beautiful. Can you tell us through your lens of your eye what you were trying to incorporate?
Yeah, definitely. So when Paul approached me with the project, I'd heard him talking about it for a long time, and it was kind of like, this dream project of his, and finally he kind of decided it's time for me to do this. And so I was really honored when he approached me to shoot the project, and with all the time he'd spent with it, doing research and pulling references, he had this incredible kind of Bible that really had a really clear tone he wanted to hit, and it was kind of inspired by these films with a certain kind of filmic feel, a bit retro, end of the effing world or I'm not okay with this, like these films that kind of feel like kind of period pieces. But he knew he wanted it to feel kind of elevated and like something that, that you could see on a streaming service or kind of, something with a kind of he wanted to look very professional.
I was going to say, the polished professional look, like this is good, and if it airs, this will make it.
Yeah. So it was, we definitely spent a lot of time trying to figure out, like, okay, what's the style? How are we lighting this? We kind of looked at all these shows and kind of found, interviews about how they approach things. There were certain like rules we put in place. We in kind of emulating shooting on film, we picked one white balance and we shot the whole film as if, we're shooting on a film stock. And he wanted to stay away from camera movement. He wanted it pretty much all locked off unless it was like an incredibly important moment to punctuate the camera moves. So we were on sticks pretty much throughout the entire film. He didn't want wide establishing shots. He always wanted to feel close to the character. We kind of had to figure out what's the language around these moments where she breaks the fourth wall. Like when do we give her an angle just for her to talk to us, the audience, make the audience feel like they're kind of communing directly with her, versus when is it an appropriate time for her to, just give a little glance to the side. So there was kind of a lot of conversations.
You had your recipe, right? And then you just got to be the chef. Right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you go to film school? Are you self-taught? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I've been making films with friends since I was a kid, really. Since I was like 5 years old, me and my dad would make projects together, and then that continued through high school. I went to college at UC Santa Barbara, and I was in a film and media studies program. So it wasn't necessarily production-based, which I don't think I fully understood when I got there. I spent a lot of time studying film theory and kind of analyzing films in the context, all these different contexts. But then being around all these other students, like-minded students, we obviously made a lot of projects. There were a few production classes. And then I graduated in 2018. And I got on set thinking like, okay, I'm a cinematographer, here we go. I'm gonna make all these movies. And I got to set my first day and realized I didn't know a single thing. Someone asked me to grab a gold mount, which is like a battery. I didn't know what it was. I had to Google it. I was like fumbling left and right. So it kind of was the next, the last 5 years I've spent a lot of time just getting the reps in, trying to learn, the industry practices, developing the eye, and I don't know. It felt like a lot of the hard work I put in really led up to a project like this. Being able to help someone who I really care about, a good friend of mine, outside of this project. Being able to help him bring his film to life and really feeling like I've kind of cultivated enough skills that I can hopefully do his script justice. And it was a really fulfilling experience. This felt like a real the culmination of a lot of work, and so hoping to keep kind of going down this path.
I think you're very talented. No, I know you're very talented because I saw your work. Congratulations, continued success to you. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure.
Nice to meet you. All right, so Awesome is really something that you guys put together in all of your off hours from your day jobs, right? So somebody says, don't quit your day job yet, right? So, but maybe you're going to be quitting your day job. You never know. You never know. Are you intending on making this your full-time thing? I mean, could this happen for you guys?
I think that's certainly the goal. I don't think we're close to quitting our jobs quite yet. If we are able to make some good contacts and hopefully set up some meetings and meet some people who are interested in financing, maybe that'll happen. But again, we're kind of still very green in terms of the process of getting something picked up. So I don't know what it looks like, but I think if pie in the sky, we all quit our day jobs and we all get to be best friends and work together. I think that's certainly the dream to
rent a big Victorian,
live in Northwark and reproduce. I don't know, but it'd be pretty cool.
You guys, it was really so compelling, right? Mental health, drug addiction, things of those nature. One of the people that was, pulling this whole thing together said that it was based upon some people that you all know, right? How was that for you guys? Was it stirring up old memories of different people you knew along the way?
I guess I wouldn't say it was people we knew personally. Paul Munger, the writer-director, the way that he typically writes is he sort of collects these like anecdotes of things that he's either heard of people that he knows personally, or, well, I guess, yeah, in his case, like he had a coworker who was falling asleep at her desk. So all these like little nuggets of like, I don't know, something kind of that feels compelling or interesting is all sort of amalgamated into this one idea. But actually the girl whose boyfriend fell asleep on a date because he was on heroin was actually one of my close friends. So when Paul originally wrote the script, we sent it to her being like, oh God, is this gonna like trigger her? Are we gonna, is this gonna be okay? And, she was really, I think, touched by having been used as like an example and an inspiration, I guess. Like, obviously, she isn't painted in a bad light. It's this, shitty guy who she ended up going on a date with who ends up like the bad guy. But anyway, personally, it didn't like strum up any like, trauma or anything, because it wasn't for me. But I think,
I feel like even though he's drawing from specific examples of things that have happened to people we know, as a whole, I think the show and the concept for the show really draws on universal themes. I'm someone who also deals with anxiety, but even in general, this age, like being a young adult living in a city, there is a lot of feeling like you're just completely out of control of what's going on around you, and being scared about what the future holds and wanting to change it and not really knowing how. And I think that's something that, even though if you can't personally connect with having a boyfriend who is dealing with a drug addiction, you can still connect to the character and connect to her feelings of just the chaos around her and wanting to find order in that.
You're not alone. I'm a mom and I have 3 children. They're 33, 30, and 18 now, right? And I want to tell you that I think it's just these days. It's just these times, even for your parents and even maybe your grandparents' generation. It's people that are your age where they're thinking about maybe getting married, maybe having children. Well, maybe they don't want to bring children into this world, right? It's like these really big, deep themes. And I think that you did it so well. You're drawing upon the angst and the anxiety, and you're kind of saying, all right, we're all going through this. How can we learn from what other people are going through?
How can we empower? I think also, how can we empower ourselves, like with this, chronic anxiety that we have? How can we make it something to like fuel our future and really give us like a kick in the to, change our future and change our lives and kind of manifest our own destiny, I guess. So
it's a group of friends and you're doing it together. It makes me so happy. How big was your crew? That'll be our last question.
We had a couple of other co-producers or associate producers who worked with us. So there's like 4, maybe 2 or 3 others. I think like the most people we had on set was like 20 when we had a couple of scenes with extras like at the bar and at the office. So max on set was like 20, but otherwise like our crew was it was kind of a skeleton crew otherwise.
Like 10 crew members on set.
And it was we were pitching in as like PAs, like what do we do? Yeah. We were like it was all very much hands on deck for everyone. And I think we just tried to make it a space where everybody felt comfortable and welcome and just, excited to be there. Like we just didn't want to be like, we just wanted to make sure everyone was excited, well-fed, like whatever, just happy excited to be there and just make it a really great working environment. And I think, although you can't see that, I think it paid off, in our product for sure.
You can absolutely see it. And even the continuity of her eyeshadow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I watched these, because I've been in the business so long, I watched every single moment and I said, oh, her blue eyeshadow's still there, even though it's longer in the day. And I was like, you guys did great. You really did great. All those little details, you perfected it. So nice to meet you both.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned for more. We're living it up. And you have got to see Awesome. Be well. Joining us now is Ingrid Dodd. Ingrid, you've been coming to these festivals for quite a while. What do you love best about this year?
I love the young talent, and I love where it is on the North Fork. As you know, I've had a house here for a very long time, 20 years. I've always been involved in movies and TV, and to see this come to a place where I absolutely love, like all of this talent from all over the country, it just really gets me so excited. And I love to see you here.
I also think it's a celebration of our industry because now that the strike has passed, people are feeling more comfortable about going out and talking about their craft and networking and making connections. I think everybody was just like so angsty about it and like they just needed it.
I was really upset and anxiety ridden. A lot of these people haven't been paid in a very long time, and so it's something that we need to support, and the fact that we're supporting it here right in our hometown is so exciting, and I just love the vibe. It's amazing.
It's really wonderful. A lot of good people. And it's very, what I like about it too is it's unpretentious, right? You're sitting next to the president of a network and then you're, right? There's no attitudes and no stuck up business people. They're all just kind of like, you know, we're like kind of wearing comfortable shoes. You know, it's like
my sneakers on in 5 minutes.
that kind of vibe. And I think that's where real connections can thrive. You know, it's like, oh, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Instagram, and they mean it. They want you to follow up with them.
Right, because the more success that comes out of this festival, the bigger it grows, and it just keeps, you know, snowballing, and then, you know, it's just something that you are so excited to come to each and every year, and it will always be down to earth, because that's just the vibe of, you know, Noah and the people that run the festival. So, and having people like you here is always amazing.
I'm with you, my friend. And pilots, when you see a pilot that has won out of 300 entries, you just know it's going to get greenlit. You know you're going to like be watching it next season on your television or on your streaming service. And I don't know, it's where dreams come true, right here.
It is. And you know what? There's a lot of economic development that comes along with this. And to bring that to the North Fork or all of Long Island is so super spectacular. I mean, we just saw so many movies recently come out in Lido Beach that were all over the big screen. It's exciting to see your hometown. Oh my gosh, there's my beach.
I was going to say, and you've been in some films too, so we both have been actors. What is one of the favorite roles that you've ever played, Ingrid Dodd?
Oh my gosh, so I was in a movie with Andy Garcia where he was a priest that was scalping tickets at Yankee Stadium. Okay, so for the premiere, I wasn't allowed to go because I was just, I had like one line in it, so I wasn't invited to the premiere. But I'll never forget, I went the morning that it opened. I was by myself in the theater, the only person in the theater. And when I saw myself, I screamed and I was like, oh my God, that's me. And there was one little old lady there. She goes, oh my God, congratulations.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. It reminds me, I remember seeing myself on the big screen. It was the Cinema Arts Center. I had played in an independent film called Mad Wolf. I played the character named Sarah. I was in a pillory. Do you know what a pillory is? It's when you put your hands and your neck through like one of those like wooden things. I didn't even like horror films at that time. It was a historic horror fiction like thing. Based upon the Revolutionary War, and I played Sarah, and I saved the gold ribbon. She was known for like the gold ribbon in her hair, and I saved it for years, and I put the gold ribbon on my Christmas tree, and that's got to be like 30 years ago. But I was like you, I was like, oh, my face is so big. Like when you see yourself on a screen, it's like, oh my gosh.
Don't you have something else from Oprah or something else in your studio?
I do. I have a picture of Oprah, which is also very inspirational to me. When I started out in television, working at WLNY TV, in that same building, which is now the studio that I own, I would walk by that poster of Oprah every day when she started her career, and I'd be like, oh, if you can do it, I could do it. And then as things would go by, I kept that poster. I put it in my garage. I was going to sell it at a garage sale, but I kept keeping it, right?
There was a reason.
It was a reason to keep it. So interestingly enough, when WLNY TV was sold to CBS, they said, is there anything in the studio you want? I said, I'd love that poster of Oprah. It's been with me ever since, and I hung her up 3 years ago. But yes, I love Oprah. Who doesn't love Oprah?
I know, everyone loves Oprah.
Oprah.
But I love that full circle moment for you, and I love how much it means to you.
I feel like I am in a time machine, Ingrid. Sometimes I don't even feel like I'm alive. We have the most amazing, blessed lives that sometimes I pinch myself. I'm like, did that really happen? So if you want those types of experiences, come to the North Fork TV Festival, because that's where we just kind of thrive. We would love to see your career thrive as well. Be well. Joining us now is David, and I just got to watch this wonderful pilot. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So tell us about Imaginary Friends.
First of all, thank you for having me. That's wonderful that you liked it. Imaginary Friends is a TV comedy, an adult comedy about imaginary friends who actually work in an office full of more imaginary friends. They actually work together. You didn't know that, but your childhood imaginary friend actually works in an office with other imaginary friends. So that's the basic concept of the series. Yeah.
And in this pilot, you actually had some nice celebs. Who was included in your cast?
So one of the imaginary friends, one of the main stars, is Soleil Moon Frye, who's of Punky Brewster fame, and she's a wonderful person, and she's not 8 years old anymore, but she is who she is, and and we're lucky to have her. Yeah, and then we also got a regular of J.J. Abrams' shows like Heroes and Alias and things like that, as this guy Greg Grunberg, who's been like, you've seen him in almost everything, and he's in the show too, as you saw. And then lastly, as far as a notable name, at least up and coming name, is a guy named, is hilarious. His name is Josh Banday, and he is a co-star on Upload, which is on Amazon Prime. It's now coming on its third season, and he's now one of the co-stars in a Gina Rodriguez ABC show called Not Dead Yet. So, yeah.
Not dead yet.
Yes.
That's like a throwback to the old Monty Python days.
Yes, not dead yet. Neat. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I got to talk to Aiden Sky last night too. She was
Yes.
wonderful.
I was going to say, Aiden was here last night. I was so excited that she came. And we love Aiden. Superstar in my heart, and she's I don't know, a great person to have, and she's really fun as you saw, she's fun in the show, and we hope that the series moves forward, we just bring everybody back. So yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen. I feel like it's got some legs to it. It seems really interesting. I also feel like it's got that stickability. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to see Halloween costumes of people dressing up as those imaginary friends.
Look at that. Yeah, in fact, if we do that, we have to patent or trademark or whatever these costumes right away, so that we can use them for making money. I guess, I don't know.
Marketability.
We got to pay for something,
I didn't notice. Speaking of paying for things, I know that this was all self-funded. You guys got together and you said, okay, here's our budget. We're going to call in some friends. We're going to make this happen, right? What is the business model now for those types of shows? Like, if you get into a production deal, or do you do product placement? Like, what seems to be the way to get something from concept to completion right now? What's the energy like?
Well, on an independent level, you have to do what we did, where you come up with something that you're really passionate about, right? That's first and foremost. That it's got a vision, for it. But then that produced independently, you got to go to your little sources and don't try to do 2 hours of it. Do something small, a model that says, this is us, this is what we created, and we did 14 minutes, so that's enough. And when you saw it, you felt like you got the world, you got the idea, and you could see it. You said it has stickability, and so.
It's like dating too, not to interrupt you, but it's like dating. It's like you left us as the audience wanting more.
Oh yeah. For
okay.
Sure.
You left us we want more.
Yeah, we definitely had a cliffhanger at the end when they see that their humans are back together in a very serious way, and that's going to cause a problem, and that means that they're going to have to work on this.
I did not have an imaginary friend, and now I'm kind of wishing that I did. Is it too late for me? I had a birthday in June. Can I have one, please?
At the last film festival that we were at, the Big Apple Film Festival, somebody literally rose their hand and said, by the way, I still have my imaginary friend, and I'm 44 years old, or whatever it was. And we're like, okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not too late. You could always have one, right?
Yeah.
And then I also think that if one gets recycled, maybe as you evolve, you could have another. You could elect another partner as your imaginary friend.
Well, as we get older, we do evolve. We do change. So our view of the world has changed, so therefore our imagination of who our imaginary friend might be completely different. I mean, think about it. When you're 7 years old, you can only imagine certain things, childhood toys, a Q-tip, things like that. But when you're older, it might be something else.
Hot air balloon.
Yes, you could have a hot air balloon, imaginary friend. Exactly. Which is bizarre. Why you come up with that, I don't know.
Because I wanted to go like way, way up there. Okay, I wanted to be like so like outrageous, Who knows? But I could see that, there are imaginary friends of all ages, of all genders, of all sizes. So an inanimate object that becomes an imaginary friend.
This is an adult comedy. This is by no means something that a child should watch. And, it's R-rated all the way. So when you say inanimate object, and it could be one that buzzes, that would be okay.
Okay, and we're going to go with that. And the Oscar goes too. We are having such a great time here at the North Fork TV Festival. Have you been here before?
No, this is our first one. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner. A lot of your cast and crew is from Los Angeles, but you're New York based still?
Yeah, I'm still New York based. And Aiden is also New York based, although I think she does LA a lot. And my costume designer, which was a major part of this, he's also New York based too. Yeah.
Well, we thank you. Congratulations again. Carrie, congratulations.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
What was the first thing that you've ever won growing up? Did you win like a talent competition or anything?
I guess I won some science fair thing once. No, I didn't really. I was always trying to do sports and never really won any of the sporting things. I won an award for acting when I was in high school, and I got a little scholarship to go for college. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you do like Bye Bye Birdie or musicals? Like what was it in high school? Do you remember an early role?
It was, no, I did some musicals, but mostly I was always doing straight plays and stuff and classical things actually. But no, it was a scholarship competition and we had to do monologues. And I did a monologue from A Member of the Wedding, Carson McCullers. And then I got the scholarship. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And so tonight,
that was when I was like, 18 or whatever. But tonight is something, and I have won an Emmy since then. So, I kind of went up from there. So, yeah.
but I feel that it's inspirational for somebody maybe in the audience that's watching to know that everyone starts somewhere, right? You don't just get to like walk onto the stage and maybe win an Emmy or an Oscar, but it's in the doing, it's in the craft, it's in the love of what you're doing that is rewarding, right? But congratulations tonight, this is wonderful. When you discovered that you were going to be honored with this, what were some of your thoughts?
Why me? I mean, there's a lot of great, wonderful, amazing people. I was so honored and a little taken aback, to think that somebody would single me out for doing, what I love, and I've been doing it for a long time. So that was it was truly humbling, actually. It really was.
And on your nightstand, is there a script that you're working on now? Are you excited to like really kind of get a chance to be another, to be you again?
Yes, I'm going to be on a new television show called Elsbeth. I play Elsbeth, and it's based on this character that I played on The Good Wife and The Good Fight, and now there's a show that's centered around that character. So we start shooting next month, in January 2nd, and then it starts airing February 29th.
Congratulations. Is there anybody that you would like to thank? Like on Romper Room where they say, I'd like to thank.
No, I mean, my managers, Steve Caserta and Mark Armstrong, they're really the reason that I'm here. My publicist, Mona Loring, and my agent, Jonathan Howard. That's my team. Yeah.
You've got a good team,
yeah.
And they've got a good star in you. Congratulations. Happy journeys to you. I love watching your work.
Thank you.
We all do. Enjoy the night. Have a great time tonight.
I will. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Joining us now is Michael. Michael, welcome. How are you? Have you been to the North Fork Film Festival before?
I've never been to the North Fork, for that matter.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you hail from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a little farm town in Iowa.
Really? I'm also from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Iowa Hawkeyes. Where did you go to school after?
I went to Drake University in Des Moines as an undergrad, studied the theater, and then 20 years later, I took a master's in the theater at Alabama Shakespeare Festival.
When did you start getting an agent? Did you try to find roles on your own, Michael, or did you kind of sign up with somebody that kind of shepherded you into the industry?
You know, I started my career in the South, and I rattled around for many years, going from town to town, doing non-equity theater jobs. And agents and representatives were not an issue in that theater world. Only later, when I got out of grad school and I came back to New York City, did I begin to think about that. I had a kind of half-baked representation, what they used to call freelance representation, which means if somebody came in and asked for the thing that you exactly were, they might call you on the phone. It was all right, but it was hard for me to get started. I never made $1 as an actor, really, until I was in my 40s. So I'm a late bloomer.
You're a consistent bloomer, though. When I went to your IMDb, Michael, I kept looking at things after things after things after things. What do you enjoy best about your craft now? That the roles come to you and, you're on, I guess, a good place in your journey.
I mean, yeah, I'm blessed that I don't have to go out and try to hustle up the work. It does seem to come my way sometimes. And I have a great luxury to pick and choose scripts. And I'm all about, I'm all about following the best writing. And really, I have to say it has served me well. That is not to say that I didn't take jobs in the beginning that were perfect, or, you just wanted to get in front of the camera.
And what are you most looking forward to tonight in this big celebration of life?
Well, I like this room. This seems like a more intimate and rustic space than these kinds of events take place in. So I'm looking forward to it being more relaxed than the normal festival evening, and that'll be nice.
I think I've noticed that too. I said that people are all on an equal playing field. You have like network executives and people that just won for their very first pilot, and everybody's networking and having fun. I thank you so much, Michael.
It was nice to talk
Really
to you.
love to speak with you as well. Have a great night tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Have you been to the North Fork TV Festival before?
No, I never have, and it's fantastic. The panel I went to today was so informative. That brunch, the dinner last night was so beautiful. I met so many interesting people. I think it's so cool.
I do too. I'm loving the fact that whether you're just beginning or whether you're a seasoned veteran, that this is the place to be. This is a very cool vibe.
It's the coolest vibe. This room is full of like tastemakers, independent artists, young and old. It's every different color. It's really cool. Like even when I go to festivals in the city, it can be a little homogenous, and this is bumping.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you get your start?
Well, my dad was a preacher, so I did a lot of church plays, and I never got to be Mary in the Nativity.
Really?
I know. He didn't want to show favoritism. So I was always the loud angel that was like, behold, we bring you good tidings of great joy. And I got the bug.
And that was the moment. That was the moment.
I've been doing it
And
ever
you've been an
since.
angel ever since. So going from an angel, right? What is one of your other favorite roles?
I loved playing Billy Dawn in Born Yesterday. It's one of my favorite plays. I just wrapped a project that's about to premiere in February, I think, where I get to play this really evil witch, and I never get to play evil, so that was fun. It's called Dead Boy Detectives. It's coming out on Netflix.
Can you give us like some kind of evil kind of face or like a laugh?
Oh my God.
I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm just like, I don't know. I was inspired by that.
I mean, I know. I would have to be in the wig and the whole, yeah.
All right, I'll try to give one to you, and then maybe you could give it back.
Okay.
You ready? Here we go.
All right.
Going deep, going
All
deep.
right. That's all I got.
I like it.
You
It
had
works.
claws and
It
everything.
works. It works.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful and blessed time tonight. It was so nice to meet you.
nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, and I really did love that, like that pose, man. Like get down, right?
Thanks, yeah.
It was like Soul Train. No,
It was like a hip hop album.
Got it.
It was a tribute.
Tribute to hip hop. You know, their 40th anniversary just happened.
That's
and,
right.
and
I was
we're-
there.
Yeah, and we're living it up right here. Be well. Tell us how theater for you started at a young age.
I was a choir boy, and I sang in my local church choir in the village that I grew up in, and ended up doing quite a few concerts around the area that I lived. and was seen by the headmaster of the school that I would eventually end up going to when I was 10. And we don't do middle school in England. You just go straight to high school when you're 11, 10, 11. And he cast me as Tom Sawyer in the musical of Tom Sawyer. And I literally was like, from the age of 11, I was like, I didn't know that it was a job that you could do then. At that age, it was just fun. I didn't know that I could actually do it for a living. So I then just carried on, and I just did many. By the time I was 18, I'd done 62 musicals. Yeah, I joined every single community theatre, every single, I'm from a place called Brentwood. Chelmsford was nearby, Colchester was nearby. I was part of the amateur dramatic scene in every single town. My poor parents driving me around, forever.
I really want to talk to you for much longer, so maybe you could remote guest in. But now the show's about to begin, and I think you're like up there. I think you're in the dais. I know. Showtime. Hello, and you are totally awesome. So tell us about your experience here tonight at the North Fork TV Festival.
Oh, what a great night. It was fantastic. There were so many wonderful people and talents, a lot of talents out here. And a lot of new talent mixed with the veterans, which is what's really great about this place, is that they really have a great mix of like the young up and coming people mixed with people who've been doing this for a really long time. And all of them mixed together, sort of networking and talking with each other, and a lot of local people coming in and asking great questions. What a great event. So
and last night they had Kelsey Grammer serving his own beer at a bar.
Now, from what I understand, yes, he didn't actually bartend. He served his beer. So, yeah, there is a distinction.
Yeah, technically speaking, you couldn't really go up and ask for an old-fashioned.
Yeah. You can't say no to a beer from Kelsey Grammer.
Tonight was wonderful. I had asked you what made you decide to say yes to this first-time filmmaker for this pilot. It won Best Pilot in drama category. What was the reason that you said yes to them?
Well, I've been doing an off-Broadway show that he had seen, and he asked me a few times, and I read the pilot, and it was a good role, but I was really busy. But then he had written 7 episodes without even knowing if he was going to do it or not, and he gave them to me, and I realized, wow, this is a really great character, and he's a really good writer. And as with everything, it all starts with the writing. And everybody thinks about directing, but he's a really good writer.
One of the things different between stage and television is that stage, you've got to be completely off book. There's no running behind the scenes, grabbing a line, there's no cue cards, right? How were you trained? How did you originally start out as an actor?
Well, I can tell you that fear, it does not discriminate. So whether it's TV or film or stage, I have to have all of the words in my head, just in case. Because if something can go wrong, it will. And you have to be prepared. It's like a map. You have to memorize the map. So for me, it's always been about, I attack everything like it's theater. Because when you're live, when something goes wrong, you only have the words. That's all you've got to fall back on. The difference is in film and television, you stop and start. You do bits and pieces.
And sometimes not in the right order. Sometimes not in the chronological order, right?
Always not in chronological order. So you're sort of like, wait a minute, where am I here? How old am I? What time period is it? What was I wearing? All of that stuff.
Well, you look very dapper tonight, and that's why I was like, you know what? Let's just do the interview tonight. Now it's the after party, and I know that they have some good food. What are you partaking in?
I don't know all the food that's here, but I know that I'm always dapper, and
Dapper Judd.
As we get to know one another better and better, you'll realize that I dress for the job that I want, and I dress for the purpose that the person I am. So you and we're both looking pretty good tonight.
Pretty dapper.
We deserve a good meal after.
We are going to go have a feast because There's been a lot of talking and not a lot of substance, only because, or substance.
Oh,
only
you've been
because,
on non-stop tonight. You've been burning energy all night. Oh, you've been everywhere, all over this place, interviewing everyone.
It makes me happy. It really does. I love what I do. There's so many great stories to celebrate. Everybody's on a journey, and the best I feel is yet to come. This is going to be a great year.
Especially because I know something about you. And having just met you, I know that you're like a lawyer. You don't ask a question you don't know the answer to. I have a feeling you know all of these answers, and that's why you ask the question that you do.
I try to intuit them. Like, it was very easy to ask CARRIE Preston, is it pecan or pecan? You know, because she's from Georgia,
I
right?
didn't even know that was you that asked that question. I was thinking that's the best question of the night.
And it's Thanksgiving, so I went and I was hungry, so I was thinking about pecan pie, right? So let's go have some pie. There might be pie here. I don't know. We're always good for pie.
You're all welcome.
Bye, guys. Joining us now is writer, director, filmmaker extraordinaire. His name's Paul. He's kind of cool. Paul, your project won.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It's incredibly exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of this festival, and you know, it was one of the ones we were most excited about applying to, and to get the Zoom call that we won the best drama was truly mind blowing. It was grinning for probably 48 hours after that. So yeah.
You took a very interesting, I guess, concept and turned it into something that all of your friends could work on.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was a great strategy, if you will, that you all could take part in something. Kind of like people do fantasy football, or people do like a pickup game of wiffle ball in their backyard. How did you originally meet some of the key players on your team?
Sorry, say it again.
How did you originally meet some of the key players on your team?
Absolutely, yeah. So one of our lead actors is my best friend since I was 10 years old. My cinematographer is one of my best friends in Brooklyn. I met him about 2 years ago. My girlfriend is one of our main producers, our casting director, and then one of my really good friends from college is another one of our producers. And then the actors we found all on Backstage. So yeah.
Now tell me about your relationship with Judd, who played the dad.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I met Judd on Backstage. He's the kind of guy where his resume was like so far kind of beyond the role he was gonna play in our pilot, where we felt so blessed to get him. He's just like a phenomenal actor, and I really hope to get to do a season of the show so we can flesh out his character and give him the screen time he deserves. And yeah.
So here at the festival, I know you're doing the whole festival circuit. Have you met like key strategic partners that you feel might be able to like greenlight this for you?
So that's a really good question. I think we have met some people who possibly could greenlight it for us. At this point, it's very hard to know what's going to happen. But yeah, we've made some really great contacts, especially at North Fork. So. Yeah.
And I believe that's the whole intention of the North Fork Festival, is to give access to one another. You know, for people that have been veterans to maybe get that role in an up-and-coming fresh project, and for people that are starting out to be able to work with veterans, it's kind of like this symbiotic, cool relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can say like, I've gotten into conversations with people not knowing who they are at all, and they turn out to be someone high up at a big production company, and they're just as friendly and willing to answer my questions as anybody else's. So yeah, I think you're right. Everyone feels kind of on an equal playing field, and it's a really beautiful place to connect and make those connections. Yeah.
Are there moments in life where you want this project to kind of have, I guess, a teaching moment of some sort?
Yeah.
Are there like are you trying to make a difference in the world?
Absolutely. So the project is really about anxiety and mental illness in general. And I feel like I've had chronic anxiety since I was a kid, and I feel like in a way it's my superpower, and that like I'm always worried about stuff, so it spurs me into action. You know what I mean? As a director, as a writer, I'm always like, well, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? So I prepare for everything, hopefully. And I think that's the story we're trying to tell in our TV show, where this woman this young woman who sees what's going to go wrong every day, she can turn that from sort of a nightmare into a superpower, right? It's basically about taking control of your own destiny, right? Yeah.
And even when you think that everything's against you and there's like no alternatives, right? I believe that that's the greatest moment of growth.
Yeah.
Is because you become resourceful, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, especially on this project, it's like, oh, all right, we have no lunch. Okay, go get a loaf of bread. We're gonna make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. No, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Congratulations! It was absolutely, like, just outstanding. It was
Thank
so
you so
wonderful.
much. Thank you so much.
And I love the continuity of everything. Like, I was even telling the producers, I said I would look at the girl's eyeshadow, and I was like, wow, they got that. You did everything that a big, gigantic budget, but you did it on a small budget. You did it really well.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a quick shout out to Olivia Von Hearn, who is our production designer, who was really on all that stuff, on the eyeshadow and everything. She's really talented. So yeah, just wanted to shout her out.
Little details. It's that little detail that makes it so professional. Great job. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Happy
Thanks for
journey.
interviewing me. You're a great interviewer, and you make me feel very comfortable. So I appreciate it.
I love that.
Yeah,
Be well.
absolutely. Thank you.